good. But let me try. Okay, there we go. Meeting called to order at 6:36. All right. In attendance, we have Ethan Kopich, Alexandro Delgado, Athena Velasco, Christine Stender, Jack Kiernan, Ben Smith, Thomas DeMuth. Thomas, do you have an E on the end of your last name?
No, and my actual name is just Tom.
Oh, legally. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Hector, legal name?
Hector Seda.
Thank you.
No H, copy over the E.
SEDA, right?
No, IE.
Yeah. Okay. SCDA. Yes.
And Elf, your legal name?
It's Sarah with an H, and then Carol, Carroll.
Carroll.
Yep.
Okay. Did I miss anyone?
I just hopped in. Super Ninja.
Alex Fender. All right. Monarch, you providing attendance for the credit or credit for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. The only reason we showed up today.
All right. Okay, we can all go home now. Okay. And I turn it back over to you, Mr. President.
Huzzah. Okay, good timing. Good timing. I think, probably. Maybe. Oh, or my video is not working because it's decided to be the other random camera. Okay. Screen one. Yes. Okay. Hello, everybody, to this lovely May 13th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. BOD meeting. As we just mentioned, you can get credit. So if you were willing to put your game name, your park, and which class credit you would like into the chat, then the Kingdom Prime Minister can get that in for you. The first item, so we've done the meeting call to order, we've done the call of attendance, we've done the providing credits. So the next item on the agenda is reading the minutes for the last meeting, which is our item over here on the left, which is the March 8th, not March 18th. I need the old April attendance. The April 8th, that works better, meeting notes. For that one, we got called to attendance at 6:45 p.m. People in attendance were myself, Ethan Kopich, Thomas DeMuth, Alejandro Delgado, Athena Velasco, Royce Griffiths, Lilith Moonshadow, Christine Stendar. The Monarch provided attendance, and then we read the previous meeting minutes of the previous meeting. If you care about those, go look at last month's BOD meeting. Old business. So we had the seller's permit for the kingdom. The question from the last meeting, it was completed. So then the question was, should we make a form that individuals can fill out so they know, if they want to sell in the name of the kingdom or they want to get kingdom permission to be able to do selling? And the answer on that was, yeah, we should probably do that. The next item was, do we allow people to fundraise in our new name? And, who's taking the liability when that happens? We decided that, yes, that's kind of part of the reason for filling out the form, is that by doing that, we'll allow people to fundraise in the name of Westmarch. We will need to get the relevant information from the person for tax basis, the person doing the sale location, the amounts sold, and we need all the after sales reports, receipts, things like that, so that way we can actually properly do taxes. And then we should look at resellers exemption, something where we say buy a case of Diet Coke and then we're reselling it, and how the taxes work on that. And then who should apply for a permit while it was completed. So we got that part handled. Because it was April, we talked about the taxes, so we needed to file the California taxes. That was done. And then we needed to make a tutorial on how to do the California taxes, because we currently only had a tutorial on how to do the federal taxes. And so that was listed as ongoing. I believe we gave that to the treasurer to do. Then we had some walk-on business. So make an announcement of the BOD stuff. So first was to refresh people about the different ways they can find our BOD information. So we have a YouTube channel, the CAM card forums, the Discord, the BOD wiki page, make it available so that people know those resources exist. And we still need to write up a little tutorial on how to use Fidelity to donate money to the kingdom, and Fidelity handles the paperwork for us and gives them the 1099 so they can file their taxes next year and get all that done. And then we scheduled the next meeting, which is today's meeting on May 13th at 6:30 p.m. You got that done. Are there any questions on last month's meeting minutes?
Motion to proceed.
Perfect. On to our business. So I'm just gonna make this a little bit larger. Items, old business items from previous time. So again, seller's permit for the kingdom, questions from the last meeting. Progress check on the form that an individual can fill out. Have we made progress on this? Athena, were you the one who got assigned this?
I feel like I was asking who was responsible for that last time, and I don't think we had a solid answer last time.
Okay. Maybe this was a Milan thing. Maybe it was me. Maybe was I supposed to do
I
this?
feel like it might have been Milan, which is funny because he's not a member.
Yeah, but we like to get Milan to do things. Okay.
Yes, I remember this conversation last board meeting now. I believe you were supposed to talk to Milan to get it done.
Would it be like a filing thing with the franchise tax board?
No, this is so let's say that, at Darkshore, Cinderhild is like, hey, we want to sell stuff and we want to sell it in the name of Westmarch. That is a, seller's permit. Or, if somebody wants to do something like that for mid-range, that's a seller's permit. We are selling an item that is worth monetary value, or it has equivocal value, whatever the terms that Theos would normally use for this. But it basically, it has value. As a result, we have to pay taxes. Like, taxes need to be paid in some fashion on that item. So if somebody's doing that, what is the method that they can do that to be on our seller's permit? Do they have to fill out a form? What's the form entail? What does it have to do?
Yeah, I'm not sure the requirements for, okay, we approved this person to use our seller's permit. Like, I know that we're going to want to know basic information, but just like what we need to know could be handled in a Google form. But do we need to do anything with the state for them to use it? I don't know.
Not for them to do this. I don't believe so. There's certain things that we would, but not most things aren't. So, that's part of the form. So it's going to look probably a lot like our event closeout form with like the information. And part of it is just like, who are they? Like, we'll need their full legal name, their, address, the fact that they're like acting on our behalf, that make sure that they have the information for the seller's permit. So that way they can go, do relevant selling if they're ever asked for it. And then they need to, when they're done with it, provide us back the tax information.
So it would be like the CDTFA, like the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration. I am looking this up right now as we speak.
Specifically, what we need is their receipts and how much tax they collected on those items. So if they were for us, they went out and they like made like, I don't know, a bunch of mugs. And like they sold them and they sold the mugs at $50 and they didn't collect the tax on that, then we, Westmarch, have to pay that tax to California. If we do collect the tax, so say it was $50, but they collected $55 because, there was a 10% tax, then we, and say they sold 10 mugs, that $5 in tax times 10 mugs, that $50, we have to make sure that gets sent to California for taxes.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. I was like under the notion that the actual permit itself wasn't applied for yet.
No, we've got the permit.
Oh, okay. So that part's done. Okay. Okay. So the actual step 2 of who's going to be responsible with collecting the actual tax information.
So then I think what basically they would need to do is just basically they would be representing Westmarch. They would be selling on behalf of Westmarch and then they would have to turn over the documentation of the receipts and whatnot, and then we would have to pay the taxes out of it, of what it was for wherever, I believe what Theos was saying, for wherever the tax rate was for whatever place it was sold at.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay, Ethan, I'm also taking notes and I'm trying to read yours, but it's too small on my screen. Let's see if I can't get it bigger.
And I can send these to you after.
Okay, fine. That works too. Never mind.
I'm just doing this for conversation purposes. Yours are the official ones.
Okay.
So it's like the information needed
Yeah, I
is
can.
like the person's name, like legal name. Probably should make that clear. Their legal name, their contact info, the location of the event, so that way we can, like, for the local tax level, amount percent or whatever that we're calling that. And then what they need to return to us is like receipts, taxes collected, items sold at, and their value, so that way we can make sure that the amount of tax is collected. And then West March will send taxes to state. Yep.
Thank you for clarifying that, for real.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically the process that we need. And so we probably need like a request form, a return form. This return form is going to look decently close to our event form. Like we could probably use that as a basis. And then we will have to figure out the proper way to send taxes to the state after we've collected them. Yay, becoming a real business.
Yay, I feel like we're going to end up asking Theos. Also, if y'all hear cooing noises, that's my pigeon. Sorry, she's being very needy.
Well, there's either that or toodles.
That's the coolest pet right there. Just a pigeon. Just chilling. How are you?
Okay. Okay. Progress check on the seller's exemption information. This is an easy one. I don't think we started. This is the
I don't think
resellers,
so.
actually.
Whose task item is this one?
Oh, it was either you or me.
I think that was. I'm not trying to foist things on you, but I do genuinely think that was you.
It's possible. I got pulled into a million things this month and didn't get to
Oh.
everything.
Same.
Insurance ended up being a pain for one of the events. It took a lot of my time.
Oh, that's not like a super simple process.
That
was a
most
joke
of the time
because
it is.
insurance sucks. No matter
Most of
what
the time
you're
it
dealing
actually
with.
it is, as long as I can get the enough information from the site. Actually, we'll talk about this later in point 6. I can go into that more. Okay, did not start. Does anybody want to take this on who isn't me? Just because I'm not sure how much time I'll have in the next month to actually look into the reseller's exemption.
I also cannot at this time.
Okay.
I don't recommend Hector does.
Why
Well,
don't
yeah,
yeah,
will.
just put it off for a month and see how people are feeling next month?
Either that or like obligated that the actual seller in fact has to like give us those receipts and information. That'll make half that process easier. A lot of the time, collecting it is the problem. As we can see, getting people to like use their voice is a problem sometimes in West March. Like, like the say it with your chest principle is kind of at a fail. But yeah,
So,
that's not a task for your boy.
yeah. Yeah, and this is specifically the resellers. So this is, again, like we go to Costco, we're buying a bunch of stuff. If you as a citizen go out, buy a pack of Diet Coke from Costco, you pay the tax on that pack of Diet Coke. If we as a business do it, we can buy it, and then because we're collecting the tax when we sell it, we don't necessarily get charged. We don't get taxed twice, both when we purchase and when we sell it. And that's what the reseller's exemption is for.
So I guess I need to check in because we're talking about the reseller's exemption like certificate, which is we're just trying to attain another certificate. Is that right?
It's more like the process to make sure we do it right. Is there any paperwork? Like, there's a whole thing here.
Hmm.
And it might just be, yeah, we have to go add this form. And then we just need to make sure whoever's doing the purchase has that form, right? Or, I don't know. I don't know enough about this. We were just, Theos recommended that we look into the reseller exemption and what that involves.
I can look into that for you, Sebastian. I got nothing but time right now.
Okay, cool.
So just to touch on that for more clarification, Alf, it is specifically folks who have a seller's permit, the CDTFA in California, which we have,
Okay.
can potentially also get this reseller's
Exemption.
exemption. And it looks like it could be a certificate, but some information I'm seeing also talks about where it could be per vendor that we're buying from. So I'm not sure if it like acts like a wholesaler thing. So that's just what we're trying to get info. What do we need to have in order to be able to resell things like Gatorade at an event or something? You know?
Perfect. Yeah, and I've got Theos on speed dial, so I'll definitely pick his brain about it too.
That probably would have been my go-to. So yeah.
Yeah. And Theos has offered to help guide us through it. He can't do it, but he can point us in the right direction on these types of things. Okay. Uh, are there any other questions on the seller's permit, reseller's permit items? Nope. Okay. Moving on to taxes. Progress check on the California taxes. Okay. As we just said, taxes are filed.
Yeah.
Progress checks on the tutorial for future treasurers.
I did not do it, but I plumb forgot, and now I have scheduled for this evening to do it. So I will report back in the Discord when that is complete, and I expect to have it done so within, like, by the end of the weekend, but ideally end of day today.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Were there any other questions on this? Nope. Okay. New business. Formalize the process to make insurance updates. Right now, the process is message me.
What do you do when we have to do an update?
What I do is I contact our insurance provider, who is currently stand by, because I just contacted them again this morning. Yeah. Who is currently Valerie and Ryan over at now with their special risk associates. They Francis L. Dean apparently got sold or repurchased or something. Oh, that did not work at all. I'm just gonna write Valerie and Ryan, and I file the relevant form. What is the relevant form, you ask? The relevant form is the insurance liability form. It is the policy change request form. So this is our policy change request form. At the top is the policy name of the policy holder, the liability certificate, accident policy number. These are all relevant to our specific insurance, and I have that info. Then you fill out the relevant thing. So if we wanted like change the name of the policy holder or add a new participant to it, like if we were adding a new group. If we wanted to change our general liability, which is something we actually just did, we just upgraded to $2 million aggregate. And then this is the most common part of the form that's used right now, which is request for additional insured. So most event venues want to be listed as additional insured. So we need their name, their mailing address, and then sometimes they have additional wording that they're looking for.
And you fill all this out online when you're doing this, yes?
I fill out this form right here, like this PDF. There is no online webpage. And then
Okay.
I policyholder, I have the ability to issue an official certificate, and I can sign as the president of the board of directors, per our bylaws, so I can officially sign this document, and then I send it in, and then they get back to me. It typically takes 24 to 48 hours. But yeah, so it could be like, a landlord, an event venue, the event operator, franchise owner. If they wanted an independent contractor, there's some additional premiums for some of these. If we're just adding like a venue or an event operator, it's free. Yeah, we can
So
add some
this is
additional.
something that the president of the board of directors would always have to be the one doing, or what?
In theory, almost anybody on the board can do this.
Okay.
Now, the main reason for me is I am actually our policy holder. They needed a point of contact name. Now we can add additional policy holders.
So that they could do this as well.
Yes.
So does that mean that anybody in the BOD technically can, or that we need to add additional policyholders for us to update it?
We would have to add them as policyholders, which is just fill out this form and do it. So like, for example, here's what was the one for the Dark Shore site, right? So the name of the company, this is the name of our insurance company, our liability number, accident policy number, and then request for additional insured. So it was like, this is the Dark Shore, the event venue site, the Belinda Park. They're the 33rd District Agricultural Association, their mailing address. They wanted all of this additional wording added to it. And then, they're an event type. And I sent that off. I got it back this morning. Sorry. And oh gosh, 1 second. And, they provide us this information, which is what the event site wants. So it's the producer, the name of our company here on here, and then it has our general liability information, the duration that we have added this additional insured. So in our case, we just added them for the rest of the year because we're also going to be using them later in the year. The information about our insurance, our various limits, any additional other insurances we have. So we also have professional liability insurance. That information they asked for, the additional wording, is added here, certificate holder, and then it is signed by the company.
That professional liability, that's not the same thing as like the board of directors insurance, right?
No.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think so.
I wonder
because
what
our liability is through a different group for that. Yeah, it's through a different group. This is like our business insurance and then our general liability insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have directors and officers insurance, D&O, which is done by a different thing. But yeah, so this is our insurance that covers us. So yeah, so that is the current policy, which is contact them. Let's really fill out the insurance modification form, whatever I just pointed out it was called.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you'd be so kind as to potentially include the contact info, to the situations where we would, such as adding venues, and 3, the specific title at the top of the form. Because then if we come back to this, it's like very clear, okay, here's how we do it.
Yeah, so it's a policy change request form.
Okay.
As having it like something that people are able to access and make for the process to be like more available, but having a Google form with all the relevant questions that can be put onto a doc that can be and having like a set time period, like once a month, the insurance can be updated with those requests.
No, that wouldn't really work. Because a lot of the time, information is a bit custom. Sorry, 1 second. Trying to find the. So, for example, Belinda Parks, what they provided was a really badly worded email, and half the time we have to like go and contact the event site because the name of the site is not the name of the insurer. So they actually just provided me this scanned document with a bunch of circles, and I had to go like manually retype all of this information in because like this is important. And so like it's sometimes just easier for me to contact the site directly if there's like wording that's not being clear because this is one of those. It's easier for me or some people on the board of directors to be trained on how to do this than it is to train every person in Westmarch on how to fill out the form. And then a lot of the times this information gets provided to us like a few days to maybe a few weeks before the event. So I have done, sorry, let me check how many forms I've done of these. I
5.
mean, more than that actually.
Oh,
These are all the policy change request forms I have filed this year.
oh, I was thinking of
Dang.
the
Yes,
last couple months. How many in the last month?
3.
Oh, I was thinking 5.
Yeah, I'm at 1, 2, 3,
Why
4,
so
5.
many?
So Stonehearth was doing a bunch of demonstrations, and each one of the demo locations wanted them on our insurance.
Uh,
Then
Perilous Wilds.
Voland keeps doing things. So they
Yeah.
when they rented out the paintball course, that was on our insurance. The Voland is doing Founders Day. That was on our insurance. In addition, the state wanted us to update how the level of insurance we had. So we had a $1 million aggregate policy. They wanted a $2 million aggregate policy. That triggered one of the things that required us to pay additional money. So there was an additional $93 fee that I covered. Um, so had to get that out. So I had to like reach out to Valerie and Ryan and be like, how much is this going to cost? They told me the price. I filled out the information, had to get them the payment information, got all of that done and over. So Valon's good now. For that.
Nice.
Benefit is that $2 million policy actually covers everything that we do now for the rest of the year. So, we
Oh,
now have $2 million aggregate. Yay. Yeah. So that's the current process. And then, provide, it's like the certificate is what it is or something. Whatever it was. Yeah, the gap certificate.
gap certificate? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it's called. That's what they give us back. It's the certificate of insurance. I don't know why it's Great is it Great American Insurance? I don't know why it's called Gap. I just know that it the title of the form is always Gap.
Is doing this something that I would need a computer for?
Yes. Yeah, this needs a computer with a PDF tool. The form is form fillable. Yeah.
Could we
No,
do
I have a computer. I've just never set it up.
Yeah. So most of these are able to be edited in.
could we do it lower tech where it's printed, filled out by hand, legibly, and scanned?
That feels like more work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not talking about more or less work, but I mean, if you don't have the ability to access certain things, then
well, I think what Sebastian's looking for is just somebody that could take over on this so that everybody's not reaching out to him and he's not doing so much. And that's why I'm
Well,
asking so many questions because I'm
the
trying to
question
gauge
here is
if it's
right
something I
now,
could do.
right now a lot of people don't even know how to get it updated.
Yeah.
Um, because you've just like never written this out. Now it could just be we basically take these 4 bullet points and just put this on our wiki page.
It's probably best to do something like that and then set what's it called? Make sure that at least one person on the BOD always has the training to make sure to fill out these forms.
I
I mean,
more than one person, like Ethan and somebody else.
yeah, because those will be our policy holders. That's why it's difficult to make it somebody like the monarch or the prime minister because those change every 3 to 6 months depending on how many we have. So the board, whereas the board of directors is good for a year.
And then there's a good chance that the board of directors will hold over as well.
Yeah. So if again, if you guys haven't seen it, we have the West March BOD wiki page has a lot of our information on it, and so we just kind of need to add some additional information here, probably in the process document section, about how to request insurance for the event site.
So just clarifying again, one, if we're going to make this accessible to folks, we're going to need a link to this policy change form, like how to get to it. And we need the contact information for the insurance provider. The paying the fees thing, okay, that's not too difficult with instructions. And then the gap certificate is provided by the insurance with Valerie and Ryan back once complete, right?
Yes, and then we need to make sure that gets sent to the event venue because they send it back to us.
Right. Okay. So this could be a point in the Amped Wiki of how to add venues to our insurance or something like that, or how, that's the basic, but perhaps a more general term. But those two pieces of getting to the form and the contact information, I think, are the only barriers, because I haven't read over the whole form, but so far as I had glanced, it doesn't seem especially difficult.
It's not especially difficult, but I have had people, because I've sent it to several, when somebody reaches out to me for insurance, and I've sent it to them, and I've had people greatly misunderstand it. So
that's fair. So perhaps for common problems, there would be additional instructions then.
Yeah. Because most of this first page will like never be modified. It's
Right.
mostly this one. And then it gives you options to add up to, 3 additional insurance entities. And then a bunch of people get to the payment information and they're like, wait, how much do I have to pay? And it's like, well, it depends on what you're doing. And so that's why it's like a lot of times it's just easier because I can just directly answer those questions right now.
So how would one determine how much they have to pay? Is that something that is quoted back in response from the insurance people, or is that, a set amount that we should know in advance?
So it depends on what you're doing. So adding venue, event operator, franchise owner, like these first 4, they don't have a cost associated. Independent contractor, as it says, $75. Non-contributor clause, $100. Waiver of subrogation, $100. So those are listed there in this additional insured. If we are changing what the policy does, as in changing, the medical payments or changing our limits or things like that, all of those have a fee. They'll be based upon how far into our insurance is, because they'll prorate it for us. So normally like the general aggregate insurance is like $110 or something like that, but because we've already done like 4 months in the insurance, it was only $90 to $93 to add it for the rest of the year.
So if we have a PDF with instructions, like we have for the filing the taxes, we can include links in there, like a link to get to this form. But in those instructions, it might be wise to include that you're going to use it for these scenarios. And then we have the what if of if you need to make changes for coverage addition / removal, stop. Please check with the BOD or, to be able to review the additional costs or something like that. Would you feel that's appropriate?
Yeah, I can also it might just be easy enough to just say kind of, to me, the easiest way is just if we just say, hey, we're, message one of these BOD members. These are the people who can do this. They'll help you fill out the form and answer like your basic questions. And then, one of them will sign it and send it in to Valerie and Ryan.
Well, we need those kinds of instructions for BOD members as well. So perhaps we don't have to have it to where like the entire populace can follow these details, but no one's guaranteed tomorrow. And I need to make sure that heaven forbid anything happens to you, that we know how to do this too.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think
So that should go into the BOD onboarding handbook.
Okay.
Actually, that's where that's the BOD handbook. Yeah, that's where that information should go.
Yes.
Okay. We already had a vague intention referenced of updating that handbook at one point, right?
Yes. Well, we've had that intention for several years.
Okay, fair.
I guess it would take time and energy.
Oh, quite.
And a computer.
And a computer. I could learn how to do this and help.
Do you want to take this on?
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Thomas.
give me a reason to hook my computer up.
Damn.
Okay. I'll just highlight all this in red for all the
So
information.
Thomas, your action item is to make the instructions on how to update the insurance, and it'll be added into the BOD handbook. The whole BOD handbook thing will be, I think that's a group effort.
Yes, this is a
Yes.
old document. I think it was last touched in like 2018. 2016. Okay, this is a decade-old document. It still is relatively actually accurate, talking about the California FTB 99, although I think it's actually, yeah, and like the statement of information. Like some of this just information just needs to be updated a bit. And there was an old EIN use request form. We kind of stopped using that, and we just said everybody can use it.
Is
Things like
it
that.
too much to ask to add that to a future meeting item to begin review of updating the handbook?
So we had it on the meeting for a while, and it just never got done. So we pulled it off the action items.
Because this would be not like a discuss, hey, what got done, you guys? Like this is a like office hours lab class, of talking and working through the writing of it. Is that something that other people are on board with if we were to potentially include in with the meeting, or does that need to be handled separately?
I
Maybe
would
tack
suggest,
it on to the end of a meeting.
yeah, I would say it doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be done like on the record, with recorded calls and votes and all of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, if people want to have it as like a before the meeting or after the meeting, right? Like we have a Zoom account, we can easily set up as many additional meetings as we want.
I would be. I like that idea. Ain't nothing to do it but to get to it. And if
Okay.
we just keep putting
Can
it off, it'll never get done.
can I recommend we bring this back up when we have our walk-in business section, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
take that then? Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other questions about formalizing the process to make insurance updates? Nope. Okay.
Once I have my computer up and running, I'm gonna have some questions for you. But yeah,
Okay. I can help you out. Okay. Moving on. Belond, added to insurance. I think this is just a statement.
Woohoo.
we appreciate your service for that. Should be I need your phone number so I can send you money on Zelle. We pay you for that.
If anything, the kingdom owes me.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And
damn.
that, yeah.
I owe this man money. Sebastian, don't break my fingers.
Yeah.
I can I can cover it for you. We can make a loan.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I
It's
don't play
only
funny with you. You
it's
good. You
only
good.
25% big.
Okay.
You before
So
doing
yeah,
stuff.
Belond was added to insurance in the Belindo Parks were or not Belond, but specifically the state of California Parks Department,
Oh,
like a specific branch of it was added. So the Brennan Island SRA was added because that's where Belond is doing their event. Um, so their insurance was updated. That was the tricky one because they asked for the increased aggregate. In addition, we've added the Belindo Park this week, and I think we talked about all the other ones last time. Yeah. Is
So
there
like
anything else to?
in
Oh,
the future when Watchers Keep wants to join West March, we would have to submit an insurance update to add that park location.
nope.
Oh,
So Watchers, every land within Westmarch is not an independent entity according to the government. They are all Westmarch. So by
okay.
Westmarch having insurance, they are operating in our name, which is a whole other conversation about liability and the fact that we
Yeah, I don't
basically
want to
have
derail too much. I'm just kind of thinking
yeah.
for the future.
Yeah. So when they would do that, it's basically they come from technically, I guess they're under AMPGIRD's policy right now, like AMPGIRD International. and they transfer like from that business to our business, which it just happens because of the way we already have our contract set up. So that's like an inter-business transfer in theory, because we already
Awesome,
have
thank you.
a contract between our two companies to do that. And then then they just fall under our insurance, they fall under our Capora, they fall under our bylaws. Yeah. Yeah. Raffle at Darkshore. Okay, I got this sorted already. It was just it was very poorly communicated is what it was. It's not actually truly a real raffle. Um, One of the things, just so for people aren't aware, a raffle in the state of California is considered gambling. And so we have to be very careful about raffles. This is not actually a raffle at Darkshore. It was just if you participated in the Magic the Gathering tournament, there would be people who could win things. But there was no like pay for entry. There was no like gambling for at a raffle type deal. So therefore it's not a raffle according to the state of California.
So,
It's
am I
it's
correct to
skill
believe
based versus luck.
It's more specifically, it's being run by Carps, not West March.
Oh, perfect, even better.
But then it was also, yeah, it's not yeah, it's skill based, not luck, type thing. Yeah. But yes. So anyways, that's why I caught my attention, because I saw a raffle get posted into our Discord channel. I'm like, hold on, we've got to go make sure that's correct. So that's what that was. It got dealt with. It was just miscommunication.
that's like a raffle would only count, like you could do a raffle, but not if you like sold tickets, right? Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, I'm responding to the other thing.
I think even if it's free to entry, if it is like chance based or luck based, California has like very specific rules about how you can run it, who can participate,
Yeah.
and things like that. So it has
So
to
the
more
answer
be
is you
like
go to
it's
the
like
office of the,
like a giveaway.
yeah, the answer is you go to the office of the Attorney General guide for charities, and you read this section about fundraising through bingos and raffles, and you scroll down to this raffle section, and they would talk about how you can do raffles, and we're qualified to do business, and the things, but there's a bunch of additional forms we have to fill out to do this,
Yeah, but
and
that's like what I'm saying is like that's if you're getting money in return for a ticket for the raffle.
it's
Say if I was at park, I was doing like everybody who shows up at park gets a raffle ticket just because you showed up, and the winner of the raffle gets a park relic or
yeah.
whatever.
So if they are paying money to enter, then it becomes something. The entry ticket for the raffle becomes something of monetary value is one thing, and then the other thing is which technically should be taxed, which is fun, and how we do sales at land level. Anyways, different problem. And then also because it's like the fundraising part of it, from my understanding here, and then I have to go look into the results of this chapter 6, this raffle report and 2P form and their
But it would
definition of
totally be
raffle.
okay if there was no cash involved. There was no monetary gain or loss.
I believe that is correct.
Okay.
I know, yeah, which I think is a little bit in contract to what you were saying, Elf, which is if it's a free entry raffle, as long as everybody entered for free, I think we're okay. But again, it's like really need to make sure. I'd have to go read like the definition from the Office of the Attorney General on what is, quote, a raffle.
Yeah, I think it also depends on like the monetary value of the prize because there can be capital gains tax and stuff. California loves some nanny laws.
Yeah, and bingo, like it specifically says like it can't exceed $500. And like there is the whole weird thing, like we really do need to at some point figure out the taxes that we should be collecting at the land level for things that the lands are doing, because the lands are not they're not independent groups. They are operating for West March. And that is just it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that we've reviewed this before, but I want to double check with the taxes gathered. From what I remember, paying for admission to the event does not require taxes, but we actually need to collect taxes for like like a feast pass, like for the meal tickets.
It's
Yeah.
anything of that has value is what it comes down to. So the food has like, and there was exact specific terms that Theos was using that my mind is blanking on. But there are specific like if it's considered to have monetary value, California wants their 7%. It's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And so we can claim the event, like showing up and just hanging out at the event, that the battle games like have no value or something along those lines.
But you can't say food has no value.
Yeah, food definitely has value.
So we're not quite so pressed for that with this event, given that food has been covered, but we will imminently need to determine
Well,
the.
actually, it makes it worse for this event because
Oh, great.
your
Oh,
gate
right.
ticket now includes food.
So now the whole ticket is taxable.
Potentially. Now, we've always fallen in the past. The reason it's coming up, and the reason we're still like kind of okay right now, in the past, we've always fell under the garage sale exemption, which is, I don't know, a corporation or a business is allowed to twice a year basically sell things like get rid of all the old filing cabinets and stuff like that and sell them on the street corner as if it was a garage sale. You're allowed up to 2 of those per year, some additional restrictions about number of times and frequency and stuff like that. But it's basically twice per year. So our 2 per year have always been Darkshore and Feast of Gods. And that's
So
like one
we're
of the things
good.
of like Once Upon a Time was never run by Westmarch. Flurtastic is not run by Westmarch. We do not
Dungeons
sell
are not run
tickets.
by Westmarch.
Yeah, we do not sell tickets to Midrain or the Winter Coronation, so therefore they don't have value. And we're not selling something. And so it was, yeah. And
That
my
feels
brain's
like
being a little fuzzy on the exact wording that Theos used. I'm trying to quickly grab the old.
that might need to be a walk-on business thing.
Well, we talked about it a lot. I think it's just a go back to Theos because he had the information on this.
Okay, fair enough.
Admission is not taxable. Admission is not a taxable item is specifically what we talked about in the February BOD meeting notes. Subland events count towards this total, however. So if sublands sell and raise money, individuals can sponsor the events without triggering it. So that's why we're saying it might make sense for us to have a way, like a form or a document, that local monarchy can say, me, Steve Smith, am running a thing. I will donate all proceeds from the thing to Westmarch in the name of Agers Hall. Which opens up a different level of liability, because if Steve Smith collects all that money and then runs off into the sunset, the people who gave that money to Steve have no recourse on like how to get that money back, and there's no way for Westmarch to get that money back because Steve Smith was the one running the event. So it's a different level thing. Yeah.
This if somebody was selling tickets for an event.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, so admission
Okay.
is not considered taxable. I wonder why admission is not considered taxable. So there you go. There's your answer. Okay. Traveler Darkshore. Item closed?
Yep.
Cool, perfect. This is not an IRS update on the rules of charitable giving. This is just the Fidelity rules for charitable giving. Not fiddly.
I like fiddly.
So, quick reminder, I set us up through Fidelity's charitable giving program, and there's 2 different ways that Fidelity can do it. One is your business can often have a partnership with Fidelity, so that way you can give money directly out of your paycheck to Fidelity, which is great. You can also set up what's known as a charitable giving account through Fidelity. Just quickly pull up what that kind of looks like. So anybody can go and set up a giving account. Just click open a giving account. You go through, you fill out the relevant information, and you can now set up a giving account. You can put money into that account, and then you can use that money and donate it directly to Westmarch. We are an organization that shows up here.
Would that then be
And it
tax
goes directly to
deductible?
Westmarch, and they handle the paperwork for us. Sorry, what?
Would that then, because it's a charitable donation, is that tax deductible for the giver?
Yes, and Fidelity handles that for us.
Perfect.
Where was it? Yeah, so if you kind of go into here, this is like the one I set up to make sure everything was working. So I just called it Coppage Giving Fund, right? You go up under grant to charities, and this is all on like Fidelity's FAQ. And you can see I've already added Westmarch. You know, it has the charity details, so you just put in our tax EIN number, and it pops up, and you'd be like, I want to give $100, and then you can say why. You know, do you want to be like anonymous? Do you want your name on it? And then when do you want it to occur? And then you just like add to list and you send the money. And it's really easy to find a charity. You can literally just like if you type in Westmarch, you'll get everybody on the planet. And in this case, actually, we're the only Westmarch apparently registered in their account. Perfect. It's that easy. And if you have any questions, there's a help. And it adds it in, and then you just need to do the, you know, there's $0 in this account, but like you could add money to this account, and that's how it works. And as far as setting up your account and everything, you should just be able, if I log out here real fast, there's a lovely help center about how to open an account, fund an account, do it. So I made sure that we will show up if anybody does this. They can just go throw money in there and it will show up. I tested another thing through Fidelity with this, and you know, sent some money, and Westmarch got it, and got routed to our bank account. So like Westmarch, the company, it goes to the Westmarch Amcard Gmail, which is the one that the monarch and the prime minister have access to. So they'll get an email saying that money, and you know, they can get it routed to the appropriate bank accounts.
Yeah, play that transfer game.
Yeah.
Let me know if I have to play the transfer game.
So when I did it, Cinderhill's the prime minister, and they got it done. I didn't actually see what the email looked like because, of course, it's on the monarch email address. So I'm not sure if it was like they had to click like accept, send to this account, or if they like just set up the account so now all future money goes there. That's a Cinderhill question.
Gotcha.
But that's on the back end. I mean, at the very least, you'll see it because you have access to the email.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
So yeah, anyways, it's just set up the how-to guide. And I believe previously, Athena, you had volunteered to do this.
Yep, same as the other item.
Okay, I'll just write in work for this.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. So that is our Fidelity charitable giving process. Any other questions on what we're doing on there? Oh, okay. And then the walk-on item. Start updating the BOD handbook. Who wants to chair actually getting this done and poking people and reminding them, hey, let's do this?
Nose goes, not it.
Okay.
Got it.
I can do it.
There we go.
Sarah, you're about to become very busy.
Well, great, because I can't find a job to save my life, so at least this gives me purpose. The better use of my time than napping with my cats. So,
Well, actually, technically on the 30th of this month, you become the CEO of this corporation. So good job. You have a job. We pay you nothing, unfortunately. Sorry.
I was going to say, if I could give myself a salary, that'd be different. But no, I'm very fortunate in that I have a good support system and have been able to, you know, not be super stressed out about how shitty the job market is right now. So this will give me lots of fun projects.
I will also throw this on the record, even. I'll throw this out. Hey, by the way, anybody who is on the board of directors or is like the CEO or CFO, this is work you can put on a resume. In addition, anybody on this board of directors, but also, you know, including myself, can write you letters of recommendation as we have now worked with you and you have done these great things and here's all, and we can talk you up and we can sign them as, you know, like you worked for this charitable nonprofit, you did all this work, you were the CEO or the CFO or, you know, the treasurer, whatever. Like all of those are legitimate things we can do. And so like we can write you good letters of recommendation. This is a very good way for people to get those resume builders.
I
Oh,
will
straight up,
take you
know
up on that for sure.
Note, I just got a new job recently, and that was part of the reason they told me.
Nice.
Congratulations, bro. Sid.
Congratulations! That's awesome.
Mm. But hell yeah, I got my full name. Use me as a reference. Hector is the asset preservation manager. Besides
No, Hector, you're the CFO.
that too. Bam.
You have a more official title. You are actually our chief financial officer.
Damn, I made it to an officerial status. What? Didn't
You
even know
are,
that.
in
Thank
fact,
you.
and Walrus is a CEO, and we hear about those guys in the news right now.
Oh damn, a scandal already. I only been a CFO for like 5 minutes, bro.
Yeah. So, okay.
All right. I just want to confirm, Sarah, you're the one who volunteered to lead the handbook updates?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. Do we have any other walk-on business that people would like to add?
What's up with the freaking Kingdom Castle and how do we get it fixed?
Oh
That
yeah.
is for
Or
the.
more so, what do I have to do to just go there and fucking fix it?
So the answer is, actually, I can quickly review that. It's a little bit beyond the purview of the BOD, but I just had this up earlier. Sorry, 1 second. West March Kapora. It is specifically this wording right here. Let me grab my highlight tool.
I have a feeling I need to be reaching out to the regent.
Nope.
No, you reach out to the
Maintenance
autocrat
of
of
the maintenance of the Darkshore Castle must be performed by the autocrat prior to returning the equipment to Westmarch. Autocrat has 45 days from the end of the event to provide the repaired/maintained castle.
So who was the last autocrat that used it?
This is Cinderhild. This is Cinderhild.
Okay, well then I'll reach out to him and see what I can do to help make the castle right.
I think based on the pictures that I've seen, I don't think it will be possible to get the repairs done in time for this event.
I
So
could
Cinder
build the whole thing over again in 3 hours.
build a whole new one.
yeah, I'll take the
Um,
PTO.
Zeus built the last one. I have the blueprints
No,
for it.
actually, this was
Oh, was this older than Zeus?
from a set up in Crimsonwood, and I collected it at one point, and then it ended up at Azuz's house, and he's been doing maintenance on it for years.
So then what I'm hearing is it might be time to
Or should we save it for after?
castle.
We need a new castle.
Newcastle
Okay.
Dad?
Anyways,
And then
I do
what
agree.
would
I think this is beyond the BOD scope, because
No,
the
yeah, I
BOD.
understand. Sorry. Let's move on to
It's all good.
actual.
I just wanted to point out. Yeah. So the autocrat is the person you would contact for that. Okay. Is there any other BOD walk-on business? Nope. Going once. Going
None
twice.
for me.
Sold. Perfect. Thank you all very much. I can, once I find the button again,